Hey, welcome everyone. Quick expert playthrough from the opening round of the City of Light tournament. Hole 1, QB Kingmaker, max top and right. Just getting it down there basically. Start at plus 7 yards, gives you enough room to adjust. Just. And that'll give you a choice of shots for your second shot. You can either land short of the rough, bump it over, fly the rough with backspin. This is too much backspin as it happens. Or you can play the rough bump. 3 choices for the second shot on hole 1. If you're going to go for the backspin, you want to be further towards the bunker. You want the blue ring cut in the rough, and you don't want all the backspin on that Saturn. You want to leave off about a bar and a half, thanks to ringers for the setup for this shot, and it'll play about mid distance of your club with a 10% adjustment, over adjustment. That's hole 1. Hole 2, par 3. Saw Ian do this yesterday, quite a clever trick. Start off with a power 4 ball, wind 3, power 4. That lets you set up your Goliath without it creeping into wood territory. And once you get it where you want with your spins and your placement, pull your rings, 5.1 in this case, and then just switch back to a Kingmaker. Your spins will obviously stay set and you're good to go. So in this case we used 4 back and 3 right. I think we had half the red ring in the rough. That's actually quite far away. It's usually closer than that. But I've switched from that. I'm going to play the rough bump from now on because that long iron doesn't want to drop for me. So rough bump from here on in. Hole 3, I've dumped the QB power slice. With a low wind, you need to change to a Zerker if you haven't got any power 4 balls, and then you have to let off the power a little bit. So for me, this is an easier shot with an APOC. Saying that, this would have been enough wind to use the QB shot. 10.5 with a Titan would have been money. But if you're going to play the APOC shot, then you want full top, full left with an APOC 4. And just visualise yourself for your rings, and then max overpower, max left curl, and try and hit perfect or close to it. Seems to be great proof either side there, which will set you up for the now familiar Guardian shot, full backspin. Use a little bit left spin if you like. And the trick with this, I think, well, I'm saying the trick, for me you want to be about a square or 2 past the hole and 2 or 3 squares to the left of the hole with the second bounce. That's there. Well, it was there. And then just adjust whatever distance you actually are with a 5% uphill factored into your adjustment. Seems to be great proof, certainly great left proof this shot, because that's going to come back down nicely right in the middle of the hole. So that was 3. Hole 4 is a par 3 and another rough bump. So this one we're going to try and set up at the +9, +10 yard mark. So we've gone 4 left, 1 top there, just over 4 left. Then we move up to plus 11. Whatever you decide, you can end up with max plus 20 on the adjustment, so 8.7 in this case. Tricky shot this though, I keep sliding past. Hitting the rough's no problem, but getting it far enough or to stay to the right seems tricky, so a bit of work to be done on that one still. Hole 5 is probably a must make in this tournament, certainly an expert, probably in pro. No excuse on expert not to get it if you've got a decent enough short iron in terms of ball guide. You should be able to use either of the funnels, playing left or right fairways. For the drive, 10% downhill adjustment with a QB and a Kingmaker, max top and right. You can add a bit of baby right curl if you like, save you from a great left. And this is going to go just through the shadows, which is fine. 330 to 340, the drive seems to go that far. From here, it's a choice of funnels from the right side. There's this funnel here, which is probably not the funnel to play, or there's a funnel if you have the target further to the right. You get the funnel that sweeps in from the right to the left, which is the funnel you should play. Because for all that this one looks like it's run at the hole, once we adjust it for min distance plus 10%, we're going to get a very, very dead bounce. Just there. And that's going to get nowhere near the hole. Playing the right hand, the funnel that sweeps more to the right, that doesn't seem to happen. So, what not to do in that instance. Hole 6. You want to use your most accurate top spinny driver. For me, on this account, that's a Thor 5. Full top spin, full left spin. 10% over adjustment, downhill. So we're going to go 5 rings. Easiest to push this adjustment away from you. Those trees stop you doing it the normal way. You can use left curl there if you like, I don't see the need personally, but as long as you bounce over the bunker, it's going to run for days and leave you a decent chance with a sniper. Another rough bump. A bit like the last tournament, rough bumps all over the place here. So in pro we go right of the tree, in expert we go left of the tree. Just past the leaves is the landing spot. I'm trying all the right spin and one top spin. I'm going to change that to a power 0 max distance shot because the club is nearly at plus 1 yard, plus 0 yards. So I'll give it 6.7 once we get the tree out of the way. So this was all the right and one top spin and hit perfectly. As you'll see, it's going to be a shade too far, but close, one to work on. This will be hole 7. We're going to go 4 back and full right with a QB and a Kingmaker. Start off with the white ring, just out the rough and just out the sand, and then adjust 1 to 1. And you can use a smidge of right curl if you like, and I do mean a smidge. The right curl is not necessary, just keeps it away from that bunker. So 257, between 255 and 260 leaves you a pretty consistent second shot here. We're going to try and bounce it under the tree, over the bush, over the bush. It's late here. Over the sand without any spin. And having played this a couple of times, the best adjustment, if you can drive at that distance, is to just go 1 to 1 minus 1. So 7 rings for 8 miles an hour, so on and so forth. That's with the B52, by the way. B52 level 4, this is, I think. You can use a Goliath. You want to use the best ball guide you've got, because you don't need any spin on the shot. That one's a great left, so that's obviously going to miss, but might have been close with a perfect ball. Hole 8, we've missed the setup for that shot, but it was essentially max left and 1.5 back with a sniper and a kingmaker. You'll see it on the back 9. It'll miss there as well. Hole 9, you can use pretty much any driver here within reason. You want a Titan ball for the second shot, or some people use a power 4 ball. All a left spin, 1 back spin. If you were using a quarterback, you wouldn't be going quite as far, so you might not need the back spin. You might just play all the left spin. But as this stands, we're going to pull it back 5.2 rings. That's 0% adjustment. You could play 5 or 10% downhill, because that wind can be quite strong with a Titan. This doesn't really get too close to the end of the fairway though, so 0% seems fine. Because of the direction of the wind, you don't really need left curl on that tee shot like you can use in pro. And then this is very similar to the pro shot as well. Through the trees, lots of top, lots of right. And if you want to be bold, you can use a decent amount of right curl to try and swing it round. Try and get at the pin, but it's very hard. I don't see many people holding this, to be honest. Anyone that does is definitely gaining a shot on the field. So we've adjusted the rings and we're pushing up a ring and a half or so. And then decent amount of curl, whole ball of right curl, which gets it swinging around, but even that's not enough, as you'll see. So there is a tighter line you can take, play through a smaller gap in the trees to the right of that gap if you really want to go for the pin, but for me, I'll take the eagle every time on hole 9. So back to the start. No need to talk through the shots again. It's the same setup every time. Where something does differ, I'll shout it out. Like I think we play the rough bump on 2 instead of the Goliath hop over the bunker shot. And I think for this time on hole 1 or hole 10, I think we tried bouncing this before the sand, just to try different things really, see what's going to work best for the weekend. If you are doing this, you will need some right spin, probably not as much as I've used there. You can see the end of the ball guide's pointing, definitely going to go right at the hole. This is a terrible shot, to be honest, but it was more for the adjustment to see if that was right, which I think it was. You probably don't need the plus 10%, to be honest, if you're bouncing before the bunker. So that's not even close, but we now have a better shot for the approach on hole 2, which I feel more confident with. But yeah, for hole 1 I should say. Hole 2, this is the rough bump I'll be trying from now on. 2.5 to 3 left spin. Probably want to be at the left edge of the hole, because you're going to get a push from that wind. 20% mid numbers. Go 7.6 rings. It's a bit fiddly to adjust because it comes up that slope in the bunker. Might be a shot that's easier to adjust head on, so you might want to spin it round. Depending on the wind, you can end up pulling it all the way out the bunker, essentially the target. That one's not very close, but I'm more confident of dialing this in than I am the long iron, so I'm going to persist with the rough bump and see what happens. hole 3, hole 12. Another look at the APOC shot. Again, this wind would probably be fine for the quarterback hook. If you want to play the quarterback hook, see if we can pause this actually at the right moment. Tell you what, let's back it up a sec. We'll do it from the tee box instead. I'm sure most of you will have seen the quarterback hook, but just in case you haven't. The quarterback hook is going to require quarterback 9 or 10, all of the left spin, and personally I'd use all the top spin, but I can see some people taking off a little bit. And the line of the hook is you want the white ring, the left part of the white ring, just into this bunker here where I'm trying to mark. There's basically a couple of bushes behind here. You want to aim at the green bush, just to the right of the green bush with the white ring, left of the white ring, just dropping into that sand at a resting position. And then full everything, full left curl, full overpower, full hook, and that should do you fine. You should end up landing somewhere here and bouncing across to this fairway. But you do need a decent amount of wind. Anything less than 8.5, I would be changing to power 4 ball if you have it, or failing that a Zerker. Or you can just play this APOC shot, whatever's your preference. I know a lot of people favour a max overpower slice, but that APOC shot's not that hard, to be honest. It's got margin for error both sides. You can get it up there, 420 is all you need, and that leaves you the Guardian shot. So I think we've settled on full back 1 left for me. We're going to be around +4, so we probably switch this to a power 1 ball setting in the app, I would imagine. Yep, we do. So that gives us 7.5 rings. So if you're playing 1-to-1 type of adjustments, then it's 1-to-1 -2 if you can drive it that sort of distance. And again, great ball doesn't seem to deter us, because that's going to come back down the hill lovely, and 2 out of 2, which is nice. Hole 4, I don't think, 4-13, don't think we do anything different. We do miss again. 3 left, 1 top-ish, just under 1 top. I think the trick here might be to get the ball through the hole. I've always got it just reaching the hole, so maybe I'll try that next time. I mean, that's close. That is close, but close is no good. It's got to go in. Maybe we're saving it for the weekend. Let's hope so. So, an example of the correct funnel to play on hole 5 or 14. Drive the same. Max top, max right. 10% over adjusted, so 7.7 rings. And do play them all, because if you get greedy and don't play the 10%, you could end up in the water. Probably not likely with a QB, but I've hit many an extra mile into that drink underplaying my rings in the tailwind. So 335 is going to give us about 30% club for this rough bump. So there's the better. This is the better funnel Does need a little bit of topspin. Just play with the spins until you get the tip of the ball guide in the hole, essentially. And it's such a good funnel that it's probably great proof both sides. So we're trying for 30% club here. Small margins, 2.9 is what we're looking for, with a 10% over adjustment. I hit this and I honestly thought I'd missed it. It's probably a double great right, that, which on a thorn is inexcusable, but given the beauty of the funnel, it just trundles on through. Lucky lad there, lucky lad. 15, hole 6. I can't remember if this drops or not. I know I have dropped it, I can't remember if it was this account or a different one. So yeah, only things to learn here is to adjust head on. Same shot as last time. 5.5 rings this time. Still no left curl for me. And that's why left curl and a great left, you might be in trouble. Probably not, but doesn't need the left curl in my opinion. It's not going to help you. So again, we are at +0 yards, so we'll go back to power 0 ball in the app. This time we're going to try all bar one of the right hand spin and still one top spin. Trying to line up with the hole this time. I think the key is this needs to be half a square past the hole. The ball guide needs to be half a square past the hole when you look from that initial camera angle. Wherever you end up with the ball guide, it seems to stop half a square short of that. So if you end up at the pin, as you'll see here, it's coming in half a square short of the pin. So I would say you probably want to be half a square past the hole with that adjustment. But definitely one that's makeable. I have made it on other accounts, so it can be done. Hole 7 or 16. Again, nothing new with this. Same shot as the front 9. Decide to adjust it head on this time. 1-to-1. Bit of accidental right curl by the looks of it. That's why recording your videos, recording your shots is a good idea. You'll often see mistakes you make that you're not aware of. Even if you don't want to show them to anybody, it's not a bad practice to record your rounds. So 8.1, we will play that -1, so 7.1 rings. Trying to aim straight at the hole, with the second bounce halfway between the rough and the fringe. Trying to be precise with that adjustment for a change. And this hole, every time I hit great left, it's like I'm cursed. However, on this occasion, great left's good enough. Little lap of honour and in she goes. So lucky there. Very lucky, but we'll take it. Take it where we can. 17, hole 8. So you'll see the setup this time. I missed this on the front 9. So we're trying to get the yellow ring kissing the rough line. I'm going to use all the left and about 1.5 back. The white ring doesn't quite reach that shadow, as you can see at the top here. And yellow ring by the rough. And then it's just a 1-to-1 adjustment once I figure out what I'm doing. So there's 5 rings. 9.1-ish. not the best adjustment in the world. But we do hit it perfect. And this time it misses on the left. Now that's unusual. Usually I miss on the right. So, getting closer. Hole 18. Nothing to really see here. It's just another safe eagle. There are shots where you can aim for landing onto this fairway. Big dirty hooks with APOC 5s if you have them. I don't have APOC 5 on this account, so not for me. That's close to the rough. That's what a great left will do to you. So yeah, you probably can have a crack at this. If you were coming down 18 needing an albatross for gold, then I might be tempted to pull out I don't know what it requires, a berserker ball, probably with an APOC 4 or power 4 ball. Or I would play this way and I would certainly have a go at the hole, playing through this smaller gap on the right. So that needs about 2 to 3 rings of overpower. It's got lots of top and left on already. So we'll adjust to 5 rings, and I don't think we go enough rings here. We go about 3 rings pushed back up, so let's see what this does. Wee smidge of overpower as well. But even that's, to be honest, that's too much pace, but it's closer to the hole. Still missing it right though. So if you're going to try that route, I'm tempted to try a sniper and a power 4 or 5 ball, I'll be honest, but we'll see what we need coming down 18 at the weekend. So that's it, 28 under. No real dropped shots. Nice to make 3 and 12. Par 3s really is where this tournament's going to be won and lost. So that's it for now. Thank you for joining me. Good luck in your rounds, and I'll probably see you next time. Cheers.